Before watching the video, don't forget to subscribe the channel and enable bell notification to never miss an update from us.
Hello everyone, good morning all of you. This is Ashima, and in this video we will be talking about daily current affairs, in which the news events will be discussed in detail or in a descriptive format so that it is helpful for all the aspirants for all the examinations, right? So we are not targeting a particular examination. It is going to help SSC also, it's going to help banking exam aspirants also, it's going to help UPSC aspirants also to some extent. Right now, for those who also want to practice alongside the news events, see, first thing is about gaining the information. So this video is for gaining the information regarding the news events that you see every day. So this series which is created, which is uploaded every day, in this what we do is we try to impart that news event to you so that you are aware about what's happening in and around the world, right? But there are certain aspects to different areas of asking a question for that news event. So those who want to take an idea about the questions as well, for them we have everyday quiz which happens on Entry app, right? And it is free of cost. So you just need to download this app from Google Play Store, and there you can attempt the quiz every day, which will help you keep in touch with the question format also. This video is for imparting the information to you, whereas the app will give you the question idea to all of you, right? And the thing about the app is that it is in vernacular languages as well, so you can choose the language you want, either Hindi, English, or Malayalam, or Telugu, or Urdu, or whatever language you prefer. You can choose those languages, and in that you can attempt the quiz. So that is going to be the benefit of the app. Now we'll be moving with our news events. So the first news event that we have is We Hub, or Women Entrepreneurs Hub. Now, what is in this hub recently, or why has this hub come to news? This is because it has partnered with iHub. Now, how are these two different? We Hub is operating under government of Telangana. iHub operates under Gujarat. Right, so these are two different states, as we can see. So VHub is of the one which operates under government of Telangana, and iHub operates under Gujarat because it has been introduced under the innovation policy of Gujarat. Right, next of all, VHub, that is Women Entrepreneurs Hub. It is a startup incubator for women entrepreneurs. Right, we are promoting all the women entrepreneurs or helping them grow on some part. iHub is a student startup and innovation hub. That is, it promotes students to start up on their own or create an ecosystem in Gujarat so that students are encouraged for developing advanced technology and futuristic approach. Right. So this now, how are these two related? Is because both of them have partnered to grow together. That is why it is in news. Then G7 summit. Now, we all know that Prime Minister Modi has been invited to attend G7 summit. Where is it going to be held? What are things are there? We'll have a look at that. So first of all, UK is the one which is hosting the G7 summit this year, and it has invited India, Australia, and South Korea. These three countries are going to attend the G7, apart from the members which are USA, Canada, Germany, France, Japan, Italy, and UK. These are the 7 member countries. You can see on the map as well over here. And apart from these 3 countries are also going to be the subsequent visitors, or you can say observers, this year. So them being these 3: Australia, South Korea, and India. Now, how are these 3 associated? Why these 3 countries? There's a specific purpose regarding it. That is, UK had designed or proposed the idea of D10. Right? And what is D10? It is a group of G7 countries plus India, Australia, and South Korea. And what is the purpose of this D10? It is to fight against the monopoly of China, which is being created. Now, when these D10 countries come together, they can subsequently conquer the Chinese market and create their own trade pool, as which we can say. Now, in G7, there was a member country, Russia, also initially, right? But it has been invited, then suspended. So lots of ups and downs have happened for Russia. Like, it was inducted in 1998. In 1975, G7 was formed. In 1998, Russia was inducted into the G7. Right? So that became G8. Then Russia, invaded or conquered Crimea, and that was in 2014. So that faced a huge criticism, and that is when Russia was suspended from G8, and again G8 became G7 in 2014. Right, so these 2 years are very important for the group being changed from G7 to G8 and then back to G7. Right, now there is a certain concept of Sherpas in G7 who do the main work over here. So Sherpa's concept is there in G7. They are the personal representatives, or you can say the ambassador of all the G7 member countries, right? So what do Sherpas do? They create the baseline for all the G7 country leaders to come and talk on that. So all the G7 countries talk on that particular base that has been created by Sherpas, and Sherpas are the ambassadors or representatives of the country on a personal level. Right, so leaders summit is basically an informal meeting, whereas the formal one is for Sherpas, or who do the main work over here. Next is about Special Marriage Act. Now, Allahabad High Court had recently given certain judgment regarding the Special Marriage Act, which is why this has come to news again. So, what is the news? So, Allahabad High Court had recently ruled that couples who are planning to marry under Special Marriage Act can choose not to publish 30-day notice before registering of marriage. So earlier what was there in the Special Marriage Act, that when someone wants to wants to conduct a marriage under Special Marriage Act 1954, they had to serve a 30 days notice period. Now that notice period has been made optional, that is, they may or may not serve, it is not necessary. Why it has been removed? Because it invades the privacy of bride and groom. So what is this 30-day policy, and what is Special Marriages Act 1954? So first of all, you should know of which year this act is, that is of 1954, and all the interreligious and intercaste marriages that happen, they come under the Special Marriage Act. So what is the purpose of this? Registration of special marriages and special cases of marriages that are there, they are also under this, and divorce under the Special Marriage Act is also over here. Right, then who is it applicable to? This law of Special Marriage Act is applicable to all the persons irrespective of their religion, and even Indians living abroad. Right, and in this what happens, like you might have seen court marriages, doing court marriage and things. So this is something like that, that is a contract or civil contract is signed. A 30-day notice period used to be there, that is for 30 days, not less than 30 days, they have both the bride and the groom had to live in the same district, and if any person does not object to them living over there, then this registration would take place. This was the Special Marriage Act 30-day notice, which has now been made optional, or you can say cancelled. Right, but one thing is still there, that is the minimum age criteria and eligibility still need to be taken care of in the marriages. Then we have Open Skies Treaty. Now, Open Skies Treaty last year was in news when United States of America had left. Now there's another country which has decided to leave Open Skies Treaty, and that is Russia. So Russia has announced that it's going to withdraw from Open Skies Treaty, and in 2020 US had withdrawn from this treaty. So let's have a look at what this treaty is. So this treaty was signed in 1992 by NATO, or North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and the former Warsaw Pact countries. Now, why was it signed at that time? What was the purpose of signing this treaty? It was basically to build confidence among its signatories. That is, they can have a look, an aerial view of the countries, or you can say all those signatory members. The other country can look at their, or you can have a aerial view of their defense forces, or what kind of military equipments they have, and everything that can be taken. So mainland, territorial waters, islands, all of them were covered, and the only thing was that a member state of a Open Skies Treaty can take aerial images of another member state, but there has to be a notice period of 72 hours. And this was the only one, you can say, limitation to that. Now, is India a part of this treaty? No, India has not signed this treaty in any which way. And as of 2002, more than 35 countries had signed the treaty, and now 2 of them have withdrawn from the treaty. Now, US and Russia have also left Intermediate Range Nuclear Force Treaty. nuclear force treaty, intermediate range nuclear force treaty has been left by US and Russia, both of them in 2019. This is the other treaty both of them have left. Then we have DRDO Rakshita Bike Ambulance. Now, bike ambulance has been created by DRDO and it was launched by DRDO and CRPF. Who has developed this? It is by INMAS, Institute of Nuclear and Allied Science, which operates under DRDO. Now, which bike has been used for creating this ambulance? It is Royal Enfield. So, Royal Enfield bike has been used for creating the bike ambulance for areas like Sukma, Bijapur, Dantewada, and all such Naxalite areas where the roads are quite narrow and they can't take the whole four-wheeler ambulance for the purpose. So, to provide the basic health facility or first aid to the people in those Naxalite areas where the ambulance cannot be taken, for that purpose, this Rakshita ambulance has been created, which is a bike ambulance. So, name of the ambulance is important, that is Rakshita. And the second thing that is important is who has developed it. Third of all, on which bike has it been created. And fourth can be who is going to implement it as of now. So paramilitary forces are going to implement it. Then a few one-liners. A bird festival is going to be organized at Mahananda Wildlife Sanctuary in West Bengal. Now, who is going to organize it? It is going to be organized by Darjeeling Wildlife Division, and it is for the first time that this bird festival is being organized. Before this, no such festival for that matter has been organized in this wildlife sanctuary, right? Now, the next news event is Jammu and Kashmir has recently sought GI tag for Gucci mushroom. Now, this mushroom is quite costly mushroom, like very expensive. 500 grams is about 18,000 rupees. And recently, if we have a look, then saffron of Jammu and Kashmir was given GI tag. That is important. And this mushroom, which is locally called as Thuntu. Tuntu is the local name of Gucci mushroom, and they have sought GI tag for this mushroom because it has a huge health benefits, although expensive, but huge health benefits for that matter, right? Then Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan has inaugurated burns and plastic surgery block in AIIMS, Delhi. Now, this was dedicated, Dr. Harshvardhan had dedicated the block to Sushruta. Sushruta is the father of plastic surgery. So here we can expect a question that who is known as father of plastic surgery, that is Sushruta. And where was this plastic surgery block inaugurated? It was in AIIMS, Delhi. Who inaugurated it? The Health Minister, Dr. Harshvardhan. Then India and France will be conducting a 5-day air exercise by the name X Desert Night 21. Where is it going to be organized? It is going to be held in Jodhpur, Rajasthan. So name of the exercise is important and where it is going to be held is important. Nepali climbers are the first climbers to climb world's second highest mountain, that is K2, in winter season. So before that, winter season climbing has not been done. For the first time, winter season mountain climbing has been done by Nepali climbers. Then Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports, that is Kiran Rijiju, he has launched Khelo India State Center of Excellence in Pune recently. Now we have covered a lot of news events and I've given you an insight of various news events as well. We'll see you in the next video and I hope this session has been helpful and informative to all of you. Don't forget to like the video and share the video to all the aspirants you think might benefit from this. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye, take care and have a wonderful day ahead.